Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video on the CFA Research Challenge. In this video, we are specifically going to be talking about what tools you can use for creating your equity research report for the CFA Research Challenge. Um, Before we begin, let me give an introduction for everyone who is new to the channel, and then let's start the video. So my name is Shaheer. I was a participant and part of the winning team of the CFA Research Challenge in 2025. I have already created a bunch of videos on how to win the CFA Research Challenge, some advice and strategies and tips that our team used in the challenge this year, where we emerged as the #1 team in the world, representing a Polish university. I have a video on how to do industry research for the CFA Research Challenge. As you know, if you are a participant, that this takes 10 points in your scoring matrix. So there is a whole video dedicated to how to do industry research. And then there is another video which is about my conversation with a former judge of CFA Research Challenge who explains what really wins you this title. It's not just about being the best analyst out there, but a lot more about your soft skills, your energy, your enthusiasm, your positivity, and whatnot. So that's a background of why you should be listening to me in terms of what tools you need to use to create a report. And that's not the only reason why I am doing this video, because I had plenty of questions from you guys about what software did we use to write the report and the presentation. How did we make such interesting graphs? So if you go on the website of CFA Research Challenge, you can find our presentation. And a lot of you were asking, how did we do these sort of graphs? How did we make it look so neat and clean and tidy and beautiful? And the straightforward answer is we used Microsoft PowerPoint to create our equity research report. We did not use Word, we did not use Canva or any other design tool. The only software or the only tool that we have used to create this report is Microsoft PowerPoint. The other question people keep asking is whether we used Excel or not to create all sorts of graphs. If you see the map, if you see the column chart, the line charts, the flow diagram, uh, and all of the other things, you're seeing the tabular tables. Mm, we did not use Microsoft Excel to create these charts. We specifically use PowerPoint, and all these charts which you are seeing in our report are native to PowerPoint. Uh, However, this is a short answer to what tools you need to be using to create your report. Now, I would like to show you how you can set up your PowerPoint efficiently for creating a report similar to ours. Yeah, uh, let's start from the basics now. Here is our report in PowerPoint. As you can see, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, everything here is the table is native to PowerPoint. This chart is not created in Excel and pasted back to PowerPoint. This is created within PowerPoint. So if I edit data for this chart, I will be able to edit it within PowerPoint. However, if this chart was created in an Excel sheet and then copied and pasted to PowerPoint, you cannot just right click, edit data, and edit it within this window. You must open the source Excel file. And that is one limitation why we did not prefer to keep an Excel file for the graphs and then move those graphs to PowerPoint, because we wanted everything to be natively embedded here, so it speeds up our process of creating. Everything else, as you see these lines and these text boxes, everything is native to PowerPoint. Nothing is copied from anywhere else, in the sense from Word or from Canva. I know teams I know teams that have used Microsoft Word even, and I know teams that have even used Canva. And I know that the teams that went to finals, let's say EMEA finals. I don't know if someone in global finals has used Canva, but people and teams have used different tools for equity research reports, and the end result is what matters. However, I would strongly recommend all the teams and participants to go with Microsoft PowerPoint because it is the most efficient tool out there. Some tips, tricks, strategies of how we manage the whole report from start to end in PowerPoint. Uh, I've already explained how we divided the sections and other things. So if you're new and you just jumped on this video, please make sure you watch all the other videos in the series. There is a playlist on my channel called CFA Research Challenge, and you can find the stuff there. Now, let's say you are starting from scratch. Yeah. I know that in January a lot of reports are to be submitted, and many countries have already finished their first rounds of CFA Research Challenge. So this might not be extremely helpful for those teams, but if you're still struggling with this, then I hope it might be of help this year still. If not, then next year. This is your normal PowerPoint slide. And as you can see, of course, it is in landscape. So this is not the recommended equity research report format for CFA Research Challenge. It needs to be something like, let's say, give me a second. I will open my Word document to try and show you something. Takes a while. Sorry. I was doing my for the university. Here you go. This is the native version of a report. Let's say you were issuing a report for whatever company, for the sake of example, let's say Tesla. Yeah, so the important things are the recommendation, the ticker, the stock exchange, sector, etc. Yeah, so the sector, I don't know, let's say for instance technology, stock exchange, say, I don't know if it's a Nasdaq or NYSE, ticker, TSLA, recommendation, buy, Tesla. That's how it would be. Then you would have an executive summary, let's say. Yeah, you would have your stuff here. Then you would have, yeah, then you would have something on the industry. Let's say you would have your investment thesis on Tesla, etc., etc. So that's how an equity research report looks, and it's an A4 format. However, if you're going to submit this, you're definitely not going to be considered because it's not up to the standard that CFA Research Challenge has put in the past few years. For example, the team from Waterloo did a great job with a very pleasing to the eye, clear cut, and beautiful presentation, beautiful report in an A4 format, which also seems to me as PowerPoint, native to PowerPoint. Similarly, University of Sydney did a great report. So using Microsoft Word is going to create a lot of limitations in terms of formatting it, in terms of designing your presentation. You cannot do all of these things. Let's say put tables on the right side, charts on the left side, etc. All the things on the left and content on the right easily. Of course, you can. Let's say you want to start everything from here, keep it as font 12, everything ends till here. You can do a lot of adjustments, of course. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. And then everything on the left hand side should be, yeah, tables like these, charts like these. It's doable, but this is the format of a report. And to overcome these limitations of designing within Word, you have two options left. First is Canva and the other is PowerPoint. Yeah. And we went with PowerPoint to design it beautifully. Now, the first thing you need to do when you open your PowerPoint is go to design and change the size of this landscape slide into an A4 format. So you go to design on your PowerPoint, go to the slide size, create a custom slide size, and use an A4 paper here and change the slide to a portrait version and ensure fit. And here you have it. This is how your slide on PPT should look for it to fit the CFA Research Challenge norms for an equity research report. Now, the best thing here is you can design and make the format as you prefer. Let's say I need to design it with a color on top. Yeah, because Tesla has a red logo, so my design would be red. So I have something like this and something here. And then I would have a box with a with gray, let's say. And here I can have everything about Tesla. Here. Yeah. And immediately it looks better than the word file. I can go to Google and try to get Tesla logo. This is all for the sake of an example. I'm trying to show why PowerPoint wins over Word or any other sort of tools for writing your equity research report. Yeah, so this is how it looks already. Now the next thing what you need to do once you have an A4 version ready, you have your initial formatting and designing done, make sure that you go to view and turn on the guides. Why? I will tell you in a second, but please always work on a presentation when your guides are on. This is not just for the CFA Research Challenge, but also in general in your professional work. If you are working with PowerPoint, always keep your guides on. So what happens when you turn on the guides? So if you notice, when I click the guides button, there is this extra horizontal and vertical line that pops up on my presentation. Have another look when I will turn off and turn on the guides. I turn it off, those lines disappear. I turn it back on, the vertical and the horizontal line appears. These lines are going to support you in formatting your report to ensure that everything remains within boundaries, to ensure that you are not exceeding the space on the left hand side or exceeding the space on the right hand side. The good thing about guides, guys, is you can create as many guides or as many supporting lines as you want. So let's say this is a vertical line. If I hold down control on my keyboard, so I'm holding down control on my keyboard, and then I click and move it, so I can create a new guide. So right now I'm holding down control. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I'm holding down control. I click and create a new guide. So this guide, as you see, is now going to tell me until what point I need to keep my graphs, tables, charts uh, limited to. Yeah, so let's say till 5. Yeah, here. So now I know that all of my, let me delete this and this, sorry, and this. So now I know that all of my graphs need to be in this space and all the content needs to be on the right hand side. Yes. So how does it look in practice? This is my actual presentation, and if you can see here, we had those guides. You see, here is a guide we had for teams that want the actual dimensions or actual size of the guides that we used. I will put it in the description. So if you want to set up your report, your presentation in this manner, I am happy to be of help. So feel free to set up your report in this same size dimension. But apparently I can already tell you what the size here was. A place where I can hold it, probably. Yeah, here. So this was 370. Yeah, so we kept one at 370 here, and the boundary at the end was 1020. So 1020 on the end, 1020 on the start, and 370 for the graphs. So everything was within 370, and then remaining was still till 1020. And as you see here, every content is on the right, and every chart and graphs, pictures on the left till 320. And that's the use of guides. So if I turn off the guides, you don't know where content needs to start and content needs to finish, and it might be formatted like this or like this, which wouldn't look good. Yeah, so that's why guides help you remain within the boundaries and have a cleaner formatting for the report to look good. So that was the first tip on use PowerPoint, use guides, set up an A4 version, use logos. Uh, Now, the second part of this, I would like to share some extra tips on how our team managed to do a report with 5 people involved in writing the report, and how you can manage what graphs need to go in the report, what content needs to go in the report. Let's focus more on the graphs. What we did and what kind of worked for us, or at least gave us a good direction on how to start working on the report, is we listed down, or we brainstormed all different graphs and charts that will be going in the final report, and we listed them on an Excel file. We assigned owners who is going to be responsible to create this chart in PowerPoint. So let's say this chart: comparison of land bank units owned by DOM and its competitors. So this is a chart that needs to go in the report. We wrote it on the Excel file, we assigned the owner, and we check whether it is done or not. So what you could do if you are participating in this challenge is try to sit down, write all sorts of graphs and important information that must be conveyed, like EBITDA margin, revenue projection graph, a graph on earnings per share, a graph on dividend payments if your company does distribute dividends, a graph on on stock prices against the stock price performance against the index, which is quintessential in any equity research report, something like this. Yeah, the performance of DOM against the indices. So all of these graphs that need to go in the report, please list them on an Excel file and assign the owners who is going to be doing them. I can show you an example of how we did it. We created a separate file called graphs repository. Now, did we really use it a lot? Probably not, but at least it set up a foundation, a general understanding among the whole team on what needs to be done, and what's the vision looking like for the presentation for the equity research report. Now, here we have graph. So someone's probably drifting if you heard the noise of the car. Uh, Here are the graphs. Yeah, so we need graph on average monthly salary, we need a graph on the price index, we need graph on unemployment rate, volume of mortgages, blah blah. Now, the other thing important for making graphs is, how is your data represented? Is your data represented annually? Is your data represented daily? For example, your stock prices and the index price, or is your data quarterly? So for example, quarterly CPI numbers. So that's important, and it is good if you think about it before, because a lot of times you would be saying, hey, we want to make it would be super cool if we make a graph on unemployment rate, let's say unemployment rate and inflation, unemployment rate graph and inflation graph, and you would be like, super cool, okay, ABC, please do it, ABC team member, please do it. That team member graph idea. And sometimes you will find the problem of mismatched frequency of data available. What I mean by saying this is, unemployment rate might be available quarterly, but inflation number CPI is coming out monthly. And in this case, of course, you can try to convert somehow monthly as 3-month average and stuff like that. But you get what I'm saying. The idea that you need to already start thinking about how you need to present the data. You don't just need to think on this data needs to go in the graph. You need to think about how you are going to present it, whether it's going to be annual, quarterly, monthly, daily, weekly, blah blah blah. So please think about that in advance, so then you can create some sort of combos if needed. Assign the owner. So SA, for example, is my initials. Yeah, Shaheer and Sari is doing the graphs. OW is doing the graphs. AD is doing the graphs. Status, done or not done. Whether that graph is initially planned to go into the annexes, or it's gonna be within. Sorry, I'm getting a message. Yeah, or it's gonna go in the main report. What it means is, for example, here we have the main report still, and these are the tables, the graphs, which are all included in the main report and not the appendix. Then here we start the annex. So we still have a lot of graphs like this pie chart, like these graphs on scenarios. Yeah. So we plan beforehand. It's not something that you plan as you go, but you plan it beforehand. Please create a file where you write down your ideas, how you want to do the report. So yeah, we planned a bunch of graphs, mostly for appendix. Yeah, yes. Some we planned not for the appendix, but actually for the main report. I don't know. I think most of everything is done. Yeah. And that's about it. This is the second or the third tip that I wanted to share with you that helped us. Mm, Maybe let's also touch quickly on once again on Excel charts and PowerPoint charts. I already explained to you why I personally prefer, and my team also, I believe, prefers this. Um, the first reason was that everything is editable within PowerPoint, so you don't have to open the source file. I spoke to a few people who told me that it is perhaps not immediately clear how to do graphs in PowerPoint. So I can show an example. You do it the same way as you do in Excel. So let's try to do an example. Let's do here. Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to show this, that I was going through our model and I see here as well we were discussing on what sorts of graphs need to go in appendix, yeah, and in the report and in the annex, and then what sort of graph it's going to be, whether it's going to be a line chart, flow chart, table, etc. So this is not super organized, but I found it in in the trenches after 7 months of winning the CFA Research Challenge. So quite interesting, good to look back, nice memory. But let's focus on how to create charts in PowerPoint. I wouldn't be showing you the model. I don't think it adds any value to you really. So let's not discuss any parts of this model. Let's just focus on how to create a chart in Excel and how to create a chart in PowerPoint. Let's say construction price index. This is a good one. So in Excel, you have construction price index from 2011. My laptop just okay, didn't give up on me. Good. From 2011 to 2024. Yeah. And what you would do in Excel is basically just take 2011 and till 24 and just insert a chart. Something is up. Take 2011. Something is up with this. What's going on? Do I not have edit access? Or maybe I don't. But regardless, let's not let it stop us. Let's create a new Excel. Yeah. So let's say from here to here, insert chart, and there you have it. Yep, this is what you would do if you were to create in Excel. You need all the data already, and then you create it, just like and create a line chart. Yeah, or let's say insert, create a column chart. Yeah, and that's super easy. Now let's say our Tesla report. This is our Tesla report. Yeah, Now I like this chart in Excel which I created, so I will take this, put it in my Tesla report that we are going to submit for this year's challenge list. So this, you copy it, you come here, you paste it, and then as we discussed, everything needs to remain within the boundaries, so it remains here. Is my laptop acting up? No. Let's make it smaller. Sorry, it remains to 320. And that's here. I think let's do 8. 8 is good enough. Arial, for example. Let's not title it within this, yeah. Let's remove the background here. And this looks good because I like Tesla in red design. I would keep everything red, so let's keep the outline red. Here it can be black, it can be black. And that's exactly how your chart looks, yeah. And that's now looking quite nice, I would say. And then obviously you can have something like this, and then you can have your text box, label it, yeah. This is Tesla index, blah blah blah. Arial 8. And it needs to be somehow labeled as figure 1 Tesla index. Sorry, Tesla index. You can have your source as here. Amazing. And that's how you're supposed to do charts for your mm, report. But this chart, remember, is done in Excel. So if you want to edit it, you always will be taken back. So I did not go back to the source file on my own. I right click, I try to edit the data, and it automatically opens the source file. What happens if this source file is not open? So let's close the source file. Okay, let me save it. Cancel. Let's just save it in download document, book 1, save, and let's close it. Yeah, so the source file is now closed, it is saved, and now I try to edit the chart which has been created in Excel and pasted in PowerPoint. Edit data. There you have it. The biggest annoying problem of doing Excel charts and putting them in PowerPoint is this, that the chart will be linked to Excel and it will not be available to edit until and unless the source file is open. This error can occur if the link file has been moved or hasn't been saved. Embedding the data instead of linking it can help avoid this error. Yeah, but the data won't be updated automatically if it changes in the source file. Yeah, so you can paste it in a way that it is embedded and linked, but then it will still not change if Excel is not open. So let's go back to this Excel file. Let's open the Excel file. And now if you edit this data, it's gonna work. Right click, edit. No, it's not working. So it's not gonna work. I don't know. So that's the reason why I don't prefer Excel. What I would do instead, guys, I would create a chart within PowerPoint. What you need to do is just go on insert, go on chart, and choose whatever chart you want. Yeah, so for instance, in this case, yeah, you did a line chart. So you went to insert, you took a line chart, and you just created a line chart. So do the same in PowerPoint. Just go to design, insert, chart, line, choose your line chart, click OK, and there you have a line chart. And you just do the same thing that you did when you were doing it in Excel. Try to format it, yeah, and don't worry if it looks like this and you're all confused, because it takes time to format it. So let's format it for everything, and then just copy your data from Excel. So here is your data now. So let's take here, transpose it. So that's the data. I take it, right click, edit data. Now this is native to PowerPoint. You don't have to worry about the file. You just need these. This is it. Here is the name of the month, so all of this to close it here. There you have it. Here is red, and if you remember, it's the same as how the previous one was looking. Yeah, here. So this is made using PPT. Yeah, I will write. So this is PPT native chart, and then the other one is Excel native chart pasted in PPT. Yeah, so here you're gonna have the other chart which we created. Where was it? Here. Yeah, so both charts are gonna look the same. Let me just format chart. Yeah, here. Okay, as you see, both of the charts are looking the same. Both are clear. One is in Excel, one is in PowerPoint. If I were to choose something, I would vote for this one, and I would recommend you to go with this one. And that's about it. I think this video is good enough to explain what software needs to be used to create an equity research report. Uh, let's talk about that. I hope it helped. All these questions about what did we use are finally answered. If you have any other questions, and if you are participating in the challenge, you still are stuck somewhere, or if you want to understand as you move from the local finals into regionals or sub-regionals, and then global finals, how your strategy changes. If you have questions along those lines, feel free to send it over to me. I would be happy to take them up if there is really a lot of commonality in the question. For example, why I'm taking this specific question is because a lot of there were like 5 or 6 such questions, and I felt that it is important to let others know how really to do this report, or what was the strategy that we used. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a pleasure sharing all these tips with you. Stay updated. All the best in the CFA Research Challenge.